Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading which I am lovingly dubbing your mid-year reality check. Um, so just to warn you, first off, this is going to be a little bit of tough love. So if you're not really in the headspace or don't want tough love, that's completely fine. I will not judge you for tapping out because sometimes we're not ready for tough love. We just don't want it. Sometimes we just want love, and that's absolutely fine. So, for those of you who are planning on sticking around, this is what we are getting into. We're going to take a look at your wants in life right now, and we're going to look at the reality of your situation. Then we're going to see what sort of mistaken belief that your wants have led you to believe is true, and then the wrong impression that reality has given you. And this is just something that's going to hopefully try and give you a different take on life right now, possibly, I guess I want to say like a new perspective, especially if you're feeling stuck. This is something Spirit has guided me to do for you guys, and it's something that I've done for myself, and oh boy, did I need it. So yeah, we're going to take a look at all that. Then we're going to take a look at the energy that's propelling you forward right now, and then we're going to get a few cards for some advice for you, okay? So just a little bit more, they tell me, for shuffling. And then we'll cut your deck. And yeah, those of you who have watched me before, I will be taking the middle card and the bottom of the deck, but we're just going to lay out all of your cards first before we really start interpreting things. And I do still find that like the bottom and middle of the deck gives some kind of clarity that isn't really, it is sometimes hard to get from just pulling regular cards. I don't know what it is, but for me as a reader, this is super helpful. So what you have in your middle card is Page of Swords. So it's kind of like there's maybe some learning going on here. You might be in school, college, whatever. You could just be taking it upon yourself to learn something in the first place. You could be keeping an eye on someone. There might be a little bit of gossip that's doing something, possibly a rumor. I hear for some of you might have been spread. It could have been about you even. Bottom of the card, or sorry, bottom of the deck is the Hangman. So it's almost as though something you've learned, whether it be like, oh, there's a little bit of gossip, it's about me, there's something that you've recently learned that has kind of made you stop and really look at things, you know. How do I want to put that? It's almost just like it kind of stopped you in your tracks a little bit, and now you really need to reevaluate the situation. You know, because the Hangman, it isn't just about feeling stuck. It's also about finding a different perspective on things, trying to see things in a new light. And in some cases, it's also a sacrifice. So you could be trying to figure out, like, all right, this is how things are, but I guess I gotta give something up to fix this. Something along those lines, right? But here, let's get right into this. First, we're going to start off here. This card is your wants. You just want something, life, relationship, whatever. You want as much as you're putting in to come back to you, which is fair. I feel like we all really want, you know, kind of a balanced life. We want to feel as though our energy is being reciprocated, and sometimes it's, you know, it's not. So that's what you're wanting right now, Libra, and I find that to be absolutely fair. I think in this case, I'm still looking up at that Hangman, and maybe you need to realize that maybe you're not getting back out what you want because you're not quite putting in as much as you think you are. But that's going to be for some of you, not all of you. So let's just continue on. The reality of your situation right now is the Queen of Cups. Yeah, the reality is, like, you've already got a full cup, I'm hearing. For some of you, though, I guess this is more of like emotional fulfillment. So possibly where you're feeling you want this equal give and take, isn't really something you're seeing for what it is. In that you could already have a lot of emotional fulfillment. You could be giving a lot of that back, like putting in a lot of that energy where it's just, yeah, I will be your shoulder to cry on, whatever you need. You commiserate, you sympathize, you empathize, everything for everyone all of the time. And so maybe it doesn't feel like you're getting that back. But I feel like the reality of this situation is that maybe you don't need it back. You know what I mean? It's possible that you have created your own emotional fulfillment. You have done whatever healing you need to do to kind of not need that emotional validation from anyone else. You're kind of at a point where you're doing all right. You know what I mean? And it's weird because I get the feeling that for a lot of you, and I can empathize with this specifically because I am a Libra rising, I get it. For a lot of you, it could feel like you are putting out so much of this, you know, and you don't really see it coming back, but it almost feels as though that you're not really looking for it, you know, like it's still coming back into you, but you're not seeing it because that's not what you're looking at. You're so concerned about how to make things good and right and better for everyone else that you're not seeing it when it comes back to you. So, again, that's probably for some of you, not all of you. So, like, just take this as it resonates. This is a general reading. So now we want to see what your wants have mistakenly led you to believe is true. So you want this equality, you want this equal give and take, and you have been led to believe that there is this inequality, right? That you don't get enough every single time. That there is, for some of you, I heard that I should try harder, I should do better, I keep coming out on the bottom, and I need to come out on top. And I feel like that's not really the case. Again, it feels as though there is this push and pull of energy, but you're so focused on everyone else that you don't really appreciate when that energy comes back to you. Okay? And as I say those words, I recognize that I am also guilty of feeling this way. So yeah, like, I guess if this isn't resonating to you as Libra moon, sun, moon, rising, Venus, whatever, like, feel free to watch your other signs. But for some of you, this is going to ring true. Like, there is something here that you need to recognize that is balanced, and it's just it's making you feel as though you're not doing enough, you're not putting enough in, you aren't even getting enough out. And so maybe you believe that if you keep putting in more, finally you'll get that equal give and take, right? But it just feels like you're already missing that, like, it's already good, you know? So the wrong impression that reality is giving you right now is the Tower. So it feels as though the way that reality is hitting right now, you're kind of in a place where you're like, nothing is going to change unless it changed like that. Like, unless something major happens, unless something crazy and insane just completely tumbles the fabric of my entire reality, nothing is going to get better. And it's really weird that it's just, you're in this place, realistically speaking, you're in this place, there is this fulfillment, there is this equal give and take, but there's something within you that's still screaming like, there needs to be more, you know what I mean? It's kind of wild to me. So I'm going to clarify this Tower, just to see, like, sorry, I want more before I start showing you these, because this is, yeah, this, for some of you, this is revolving around money. The first card that popped out with this tower was the Five of Pentacles. And the very first thing that kind of screamed to me was some of you aren't in need of like emotional fulfillment. It's more like monetary need. Money's tight right now, that kind of thing. And yeah, again, I get it. But I feel like this reading is calling to you to say, look, we get it. We know like money's a little tight right now, but this is kind of a call to be grateful for what you're already experiencing. Not to say that to be an asshole, you know what I mean? Like, you know what, you need to be fine with like not being able to afford groceries this month. No, that's not what I'm saying. I feel as though, again, there needs to be this change in perspective with that hangman, whereas, yeah, money's a little tight, but what can you see that's good in your life right now? Like, this is one of those readings where it feels more like what you think about, you bring about, right? So if you're constantly bringing yourself down with how are we going to afford this? How are we going to do this? Like, I feel like you need to take a step back. And I know from experience that is so much harder than I am making it sound. Okay? If there's one thing that I am super good at, it is overthinking a scenario to the point where I give myself a panic attack. I can do it. I should not do it. I know I know what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So sometimes I can talk myself back, but it feels as though a lot of you are just really stuck in this mindset of we're never going to make it out of this hole. We're never going to be good. We're never going to be okay. And the reality of this situation is there is more to appreciate here than money. Is there something that you can offer to get more money? Is there something that you can do just to kind of brighten your outlook? I feel, because the other cards that have come out for this tower are the Tower and the Devil card. So it's just like there's so much focus on this radical, immediate change that needs to happen. Like some of you are just so obsessed with like, maybe I need to win the lottery. Maybe I need millions of dollars. Maybe like enter all of these raffles, enter all of these sweepstakes. You know, I just need this millions of dollars and I'll never have to worry about money again. And that's simply not true. You might be comfortable for a while, but there's a tendency with a great many people when they suddenly come into a whole lot of money that, you know, after several months, maybe a year or two, they suddenly no longer have that money, you know. The first goal of so many people when you hear them play, or even when you hear them win, is that I'm going to pay off all of my debt. That's the first thing. And how much money is that? Like, what sort of chunk comes out of that winning, you know? And then what are you going to do? You're going to buy a new house, you're going to renovate, whatever. Like, there's so many things you want to do with that money. And it, like, I'm not saying any of that stuff is bad. I'm just saying focusing so much on, well, if I had $1 million, I'd be fine. That's not really the mindset you need right now. You know what I mean? Because the sad reality is that $1 million actually doesn't go very far these days, especially if you're younger. You know, like if you're in your 30s and you win $1 million, unless you invest a whole lot of that, it's gonna dwindle, especially if your first order of business is pay off my debts, get a new car, quit my job. You know, suddenly you no longer have an income of money, you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on like a money rant. That is the Capricorn sun in me speaking. But yeah, there's some sort of mindset that you need to really shift here. For some of you, it's in regards to money. For some of you, it's more of like relationship wise. Like it could just be friendships, parents, whatever. Something is not, I want to say, meeting your needs, you know? Or you feel you're not getting enough, but maybe you have more than you think. Maybe you need to give more than you think, you know? So let's just get into some advice here. See what advice Spirit has for you. We have 3 cards here. Your first one is Queen of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, right? So that, I feel like that really just encapsulates everything I was just ranting about. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who has enough but still chooses to share. You know, I would say out of all of the court cards, the Queen of Pentacles is the one who I feel is the most charitable, because she has plenty, but she's still got this warm and nurturing heart. She still wants to make sure that the people she loves are taken care of, that they're comfortable, you know. And I feel like there's just a need to put a little bit more love into the situation, you know, just a need to say, okay, if I'm not being made happy here, maybe this is me. Maybe I need to see, maybe like I'm not fulfilling myself. You know what I mean? There's just that real sense that this kind of hinges in your hands. To an extent, I can't definitively say that, because I know the world is insane. Everything's super expensive. Inflation is through the roof. I'm looking into trying to see if I can afford a bike just so I can make it to work, you know? Like, it's just so I don't have to afford gas. There's a sense of you kind of have to make a solid plan for your future, okay? Whether that be with money, whether that be emotionally, hobbies, whatever. There's something here that I feel needs you to outline some sort of structure, to see things in the bigger picture and recognize that, all right, if things suck right now, what can I do? What is fully feasible for me to take care of? What am I capable of handling? Because the Queen of Pentacles is capable of handling a whole lot. Like, there's not a lot that I don't believe that she could not set her mind to and achieve, you know? So there's something in life right now. It feels like things are unbalanced. I totally get that. I feel the same way. But this is, like, the reality of the situation is that even if a tower happened, even if, like, your whole foundation shook and you finally saw things in a different way, and, like, you'd still have to rebuild, you know? You would still need to rebuild your tower. And there's no guarantee that even that would make things better, you know? There's no guarantee that after you rebuild this tower that you'd still get your equal give and take. So it feels to me that this is something a little more internal than it is external. I'm not saying external forces are not hindering you here, especially if this is in regards to money, but I feel like there needs to be a real solid look at what are you actually doing with your money, you know? Is there anywhere that you can find that you're being wasteful? And I know in a lot of cases there isn't, you know? In a lot of cases it's simply, I pay my rent, I afford what little food I can, I make sure I can get to work, that's my money. I get it, I've been there. So, like, it could just be, do you have any free time? Is there something you can do with that? Is there anything you could freelance? I honestly hate trying to pitch, like, hustles to you guys, because I know everyone is just so damn tired right now. But it's just, Spirit is just really asking you, is there anything you can do? Is there anyone who can help you, even? Because the Ten of Pentacles is also a card of a support system. Like, do you have family? Do you have friends who might be able to help you out in a bind? You know what I mean? This reading is just really difficult, I guess. Simply because, like, I wish there was better advice that I could give you here, because it's starting to feel a little bit like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and I know that that's not really a thing that a lot of people can do right now. But I guess deep down, the thing is, like, if you're feeling like you're not good enough, that's simply not true. If you're feeling like there isn't enough, maybe you need to see things in a different light. I know things are super tough right now. I get it. So I'm just gonna give you your oracle cards. The bottom of the deck here is Nightingale Spirit, love is all around. So again, it feels like this, like 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. Like, is there anyone that you can rely on? Is, like, anything like that? Just for a little bit, you know what I mean? If you're feeling that you're giving too much and you're not getting enough in return, you have Armadillo Spirit, set healthy boundaries, right? That is absolutely fair. Anyone who gets upset that you have set a healthy boundary is merely upset because you've made it so they can no longer take advantage of you. That would be something that you would need to reevaluate as well. Is that person even worth your time anymore? That kind of thing. For those of you who are feeling as though you're not giving enough, you're not doing enough, you can't do anything, you can't do anything more, this feels trying to, like, bring your spirits up a little bit. You have Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself, right? You are enough, you're more than enough. It's possible you just need to take a moment to, like, just take a pause, you know? Take a pause for yourself. Do a little healing if you need to, that kind of thing. Excuse me, those hiccups will not go away. And yeah, for others of you, you have Giraffe Spirit, see the big picture. So again, this is going to resonate differently for all of you. It still feels like a tough message regardless. I think some of you, the fix might be easier than others. And again, I totally understand. Story time. I recently left a full-time, good-paying job for something that was better for my mental health. And it ended up being less money at a point where I kind of make most of the money. I would say 90% of the money for the household. So, like, I get the struggle. I get that in some cases there's not really any place where you can cut corners. Like, it just is what it is. So, like, if I were to see this message for me, I would see it as, you know what? Maybe I just have to accept that we are still doing okay. We can still afford rent, which is huge, honestly, because rent is so fucking expensive. And that we're, like, doing okay, you know? I've been in worse situations and I've come out on top, so, like, I can handle this. Again, it's still a really difficult message, but I just want you guys to know that even if you don't believe in yourself right now, I believe in you. You know, you're here, you're trying, you want to do better. That's awesome. You can do it, right? I believe in you. I love you. I wish you the absolute very best. And I see, like, if you take this advice, if you go moving forward, because this is only June, and the time frame that I've kind of set is through the end of the year, and, like, if you take this advice, this is also kind of what it brings you, you know, this sense that you can handle yourself and you have enough to give. There's some kind of partnership here, whether it be something you love doing or someone you love, you know, and you have this support circle. You can build this legacy and, like, have all you need, essentially. That's what I'm feeling. So even though the message is tough, the advice is a little tough. I feel that if you can do this, if you put your mind to it and you move forward and take this advice, beautiful things are still coming. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Libra. If this resonated, please drop a like down below. It lets me know as a tarot reader I've tapped into your energies, which is super important for me because I do strive to give the most accurate message that I possibly can. I wish you the very best of luck, right? I love you. I believe in you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.